Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Awhobiwom and thank you for stopping by. If this is your first time, you're highly welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, you already know how it is. Thank you for always showing up and thank you for always watching my content. So guys, today it's going to be like a follow-up video from the video I had talked about moving to Poland from Nigeria. So I'm going to start with a sad story and then give you a solution to the sad story, or how the sad story turned out to be a happy one. So on today's video, I will be talking about what to do if you get your visas denied and how to remedy that situation. So let's get into the gist for today. So guys, as you already know, I live in Poland. But before I came here, I had a moment of sadness. So let me start with a story. I had applied for my visa. I submitted and everything in Abuja, and I went back to Lagos because as at the time I was in Lagos. I lived in Lagos and I was working in Lagos. So normally when you apply for your visa, it takes 2 weeks to get a response. So you have to wait for 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks you would get a response, either a positive one or a negative one. So in my case, I had prayed about it. I was 100% sure that God was going to do this for me and everything. So I went and quit my job. Now, before you start, let me tell you, on the day I quit my job was the same day I was supposed to get my results. So I had a friend of mine, Chukuma. Chukuma had gone to Abuja to pick up our visas, both our visas. So he went to Abuja and I told him, okay, just let me know what the outcome is when you get the visas. So that particular day, I had scheduled my exit interview with my HR of my company as at that time. So I waited for Chukuma's response, and then Chukuma sent me a text message saying, I've gotten it. So now I saw I have gotten it. I did not call or anything. I just was so overjoyed. And the HR, as at the time I was reading the text message, that was when the HR lady came to me and she was like, it's time for the interview. And I got to the interview and she was like, are you sure you want to leave us? We really want you to stay, something like this. And that was the point where I would have been like, okay, you know what, I'm not going or something. But I was like, yes, I want to leave. I'm going to Poland. This was because I got a text message that said I got it. So immediately I signed all the exit documents. I signed everything, like I terminated my contract. I got out of the HR's office and I decided to call Chukuma. Now I wanted to call him to give him the gist of, oh, so let's start packing our bags to go to Poland, because he was also coming to school at the time. And then I called Chukuma and then Chukuma was sounding off. I'm like, what's up? So can you send me a picture of the visa? Let me see. And he's like, which visa? We didn't get the visa. What? Hey, I am going to go and quit my job and I don't get visa. See, I would not lie to you. Immediately I had that phone call, everything, like my head scattered. I didn't know what next to do, which I and my office, people in my office were already waiting for me, like, oh, they wanted, like, I was supposed to do like a goodbye speech kind of thing, and I was so devastated. There was this other guy in my department, shout out to Modupe. Modupe was very helpful during that period. He had schooled in Poland but had returned back to Nigeria to do his NYC, so he was working in my company as at the time. And I now told Modupe, I had to call Modupe outside, and I'm like, guy, they no give me visa. Oh, it didn't happen. What am I going to do? I was just panicking, and Modupe was like, calm down. Do you know you can appeal this visa? You can actually appeal it. Don't worry, I'll try to get information about it for you. I'm like, really? I never knew that you could appeal for visas. So if you get denied at the embassy, you can actually appeal for the visa. Even in the documents, they would give you a paper. So when you get rejected, you will go there, you would pick up your passport. Your passport will come with a paper. Once you see a paper attached to your passport, like inside your passport, like a full paper, once you see that A4 paper in your passport, just know that it's bad news that you've gotten. So now, this paper has the reason, it states the reason why you were denied. So it gives you a couple of reasons why people could possibly be denied visas, and then they would tick the one that applies to your situation. So in my situation, it was ticked that I had insufficient funds. In my friend's situation, Chukuma was ticked that his document insufficient travel insurance. So that was his own reason. So now I'm going to give you the possible reasons that you can be denied a visa and what you should do to remedy the visa. I'll tell you. So now there are like 4 reasons why you would be denied. So I've already mentioned that it could be insufficient funds, it could be insufficient travel insurance, it could be unclear purpose of visit, and it could be suspicion that you would not return to your home country. So these are the 4 main reasons why you could be denied. Now, for insufficient funds, you already know that probably your bank statements and your proof of fund documents are not in order. That's what that means. For insufficient travel insurance, you already know that it had something to do with your travel insurance. That's the second reason. The third reason is that you have an unclear purpose of visit. This is usually likened to the documents that you submitted. Probably if you were going for school, or you were going for work, or it was a tourist visa or a Schengen visa, probably you did not put enough proof of why you were going there. So you need to go back to whatever reason it is you're coming to Poland and ask for more documents to support your claim. And then the next one is a suspicion that you might not go back to your country. So this one means that probably they don't believe that you would come back. So you need to show them or prove to them that you would actually go back to your country. So now back to the story. So we got the letter, and we decided to appeal for a revisit, like for them to reconsider their decision of denying the application. So I was tensed up. There was no information online. I couldn't get any solid information as what to do. So I had different ideologies of what to do. So the first thing is you need to write an appeal letter. An appeal letter is a letter that you're asking the embassy to kindly review your application. So I would suggest that it shouldn't be a lengthy, it should just be maybe 3 paragraphs of a letter. So the first part, you should introduce yourself, explain or put all your personal information. So my name is this and this, of passport number this, I applied for visa on this date and I got rejected on this date. So you need to give details. So make sure you put all details. So your passport number, your full name, the dates that you applied for the visa, the dates that you got denied the visa. So that first part of the paragraph, that's just what it's going to entail. So you just tell the story as to what is going on with your visa process. And then the next part, you try to appeal to them to have a revisit of the case because you were denied. You need to put that I was denied visa because of whatever condition that is. And then when you say you were denied visa of, for example, let's take it proof of funds. So you say I was denied visa because of proof of funds. Then you explain that you have attached a new document, or you've attached the required documents to verify that these monies are actually yours, or the money is available, or whatever. Or in the case of a travel insurance, you can say that you have attached a new document, you've gotten a new travel insurance, or you've extended the time period of your travel insurance. So you need to state it in the second paragraph. And then in the third paragraph, you need to tell them why they need to reconsider you. So first paragraph is an introduction with all your details. Second paragraph is explaining why you were denied the visa and what remedy that you have done. And then the third paragraph is asking them to reconsider their decision for denying you this visa. So this is just what the application letter is. Of course, the application letter would be a formal letter. It would be addressed to the embassy. Wherever you're applying from, it would be addressed to the embassy, and it would be like proper. You can type it. Yes, it's usually I typed mine. I don't know if they take handwritten, but I typed mine. So another thing that I did, apart from the appeal letter, the next one, like I said, you need to remedy the situation. So whatever reason it was you were denied, you need to carefully go back to the embassy's page and look at the requirements for getting this visa and try to follow them to the T. I also, one mistake I made I made a mistake in my application. So when I was applying, or when I was filling out the application form, I wrote that it was going to be self-sponsored. But when I showed my proof of my documents, it was showing that it was my parents that were sponsoring me. So that was my own problem. So when you're filling the application, make sure you don't make those mistakes. If you're ticking the applications during the application process, your visa application process, you make sure you pick things. Let me tell you the things that you shouldn't mess up with. Number one, do not mess up with who is funding you. If it is someone who is funding you, you need to put it there that someone is funding. You don't have to put self-funding, put sponsored or whatever. The next part you should not mess with is the purpose of your visit. So if it's school, you need to make sure you're writing the correct name of the school and every information about the school. So that is what you need to do. The next part that you don't want to mess up is they would ask you, is it single entry or multiple entry? Please try to pick multiple entry, because what multiple entry visas do is it allows you to enter Poland multiple times. But when you pick single entry, you know that you're entering one time. So multiple entry. So that's another place that you should try to tick against. Another thing that you need to consider is your flight reservations. Also make sure that your flight bookings are done a year apart. So if you're applying for a visa today, you try to say, okay, I would leave in 2 weeks. So try to choose that you leave in 2 weeks, because it's 2 weeks that you get your decision. So make sure that you're booking that your flight is 2 weeks after the day that your visa date is, and then 1 year later to return back to your country. So this is how to remedy the situation. So another thing I also did, this one was just because of everything. I just did not want to get denied again. So I wrote a statement of purpose as well. I just wrote a letter stating that I'm going to University of Science and Technology, so I have to study this. The reason why I took up the course, why I chose the university, how it aligns with my career path, and what is my plan on getting back to Nigeria. You need to state it that when I come back to my country after getting the master's degree, I plan to work for my father's company, or I plan to do whatever. But you need to try to explain, like it was just a letter just explaining myself, because in my time they were not asking you questions. You just drop your visa, your documents, and you go. So I felt like these documents were going to speak for me. So when they read through the letter, they would know that, okay, this is what this girl is saying. So I added that letter. Another thing I added was, as at then, I added a sponsorship letter, which is also is a requirement. So my mother had to write a letter, like she used her office letter headed paper and typed out a letter, and then she signed it. So it's an original copy, and then she also sent copies of her international passport. So this was what we did in my case. So we just gathered all our documents together. Like I mentioned, the error I had made was I said I was self-sponsoring, but I showed my parents my mother's bank statement. So what she did was she transferred the money to my account. Now they no longer show bank statements anymore, but in my case, she transferred the money to my account, and then in her letter of sponsorship she wrote that she had transferred the money to me. So the money is now with me, because remember, I've already filled my application that I am self-sponsored, so I just had to stick to that script. However, if you make a mistake, you can still download that application form and refill it. If there's a possibility of refilling the application form and reprinting it out and adding it to your documents, please do that. If that is not possible, then just make sure you have your appeal letter, you have remedied the situation, that you've gone through the requirements and you've done everything, and then you have all these other supporting documents together. So let me discuss all the four. So insufficient funds, I've explained. Go through the requirements of insufficient funds and make sure that the money that the embassy is expecting for you, you exceed it. So if, for example, like in my case and in the other video I mentioned, the embassy wants to see above 2 million, trust me, try and make it over 3. If you've been denied a visa, just go and try, just go and get money and just increase that money so that it would show that you actually have the means to come. Next thing is unclear purpose of visit. So if it's unclear purpose of visit, if it's work, you need to try to reach out to your employer and ask your employer to give you more supporting documents and go through the documents that your employer has given to you. If it is school, you need to reach out to the school and tell the school, please, I need proof of accommodation. Please, I need my offer letter. Please, I need my confirmation of my tuition. All these documents, you need to ask for every single one of them. Go back to the requirements for the visa and read line by line and get out the right information. Make sure you're doing it right, because this is your last shot. You only get, after this, you don't have another shot at it again. The next one, like I mentioned, is for unclear insurance. So issues with your insurance. So like I said, you either go and extend your insurance documents, or you change your insurance company. So try to use an insurance company that is known by the embassy. So that is another thing. And then make sure that your documents are not rumpled. Make sure that your documents do not have water stains, watermark, oil, none of that. Your documents should be neat, preserved. Keep your documents very neat, because having rough documents safe can make these people tell you that they are not giving you visa. I know that Polish, like getting a visa from Poland embassy, I know that it's work. I know that they deny, it's like they're just waiting to deny people in that place. But like I said, if you go by the rules, if you go by their requirements, and you give them no reason to deny you, I'm pretty sure they would not deny you a visa. The next thing is they are not sure that you will return to your country. Like I mentioned earlier, try to put in if you have a property, you try to put, or your parents have a property, you try to put or if you are married, you try to put. Now we have the appeal letter, we have the supporting documents that have been remedied. You do not need to book a date to go back, because on the paper that you've gotten a rejection, they give you 14 days to come and appeal. So after 14 days, you no longer have the right to appeal your visa. So within 14 days, these things have to be done within 14 days. So now you don't have to book an appointment in order to go there. There are specific days that the embassy is open for just attending to people who are coming for appeal. You have to go to the embassy either on Tuesdays, Wednesday or Thursday. So those 3 days, but from 10 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock. So that's when you can go with your documents without booking an appointment, so far as you are coming to appeal your visa decision. So you don't have to book an appointment. And then you have to pay money again. You need to pay 80 euros. So you have to go back with 80 euros in cash. I entered the embassy, I dropped my documents again, and I left. The next 7 days are crucial, man. It's time for you to start to pray. It's time for you to pray and hope and praise that it is going to work out for you. So you wait for 7 days, and the next week, so 7 days after, you need to come and pick your decision. So if you go and pick your decision is positive, book that flight and be on your way to Poland. And if it's negative, you'd have to start your entire visa process again. Like you need to book an appointment and all that. In my case, I went back and it was positive. Like that day, like I remember I was so tensed for the 7 days. I was so tense. I just kept on crying and praying, and I was just feeling bad. I stopped answering my WhatsApp messages because everybody had assumed that I had left Nigeria. Like I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I did not know how to tell people that I was denied visa. I made a screenshot of my WhatsApp. Every single person that messaged me that period, like, oh, how is school? How are you settling in? How is the new country? Oh, I'm sure you've traveled. I hope you arrived safely. These were the messages I was getting. So that period, I know that period can be sad. It can be very, very burdensome on you, especially if you've told people that you're leaving, and then they start to reach out to you and then you're stuck. It's really sad, but I need you to be encouraged. I need you to have hope that the next 7 days you would get a response. If you get a negative response, I still need you to be encouraged. Don't think like you've just wasted your time. You can try again. Just get a date again. If you got denied a visa, you need to also send the school a message and tell the school this is your ordeal. Telling the school that would make the school extend your time for you to resume. So when you tell the school is well aware. It's not a problem. So now when you get denied the second time, you need to reach out to the school. If the school no longer gives you an extension, then you have to ask them to refund your school fees, and they would refund it to you after some time. You would get it after a couple of weeks. So you would ask for a refund if you do not get, or you can, if it's something that you can try to apply again, that's if the school has given you an extension and you want to apply again, then you go ahead and apply again. So guys, that was my story. I got the visa today. I traveled the next day because school had started 2 weeks in and people had started doing things in class and I was lost behind. So I came immediately after I got the visa. So that's the conclusion of my story on getting to Poland from Nigeria. I hope this video was informative and it was helpful to you. So guys, do not forget to subscribe, guys. I see you guys subscribing. I see your comments and you guys are really, really watching my content. Thank you very much for doing that. I'm very grateful. God bless you. Stay safe and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.